John Rowley here.
Jeremy Whiteford here.
2020 Radio this week, we are talking about shutting your mouth. And I think that's going to be the title for this week. It's fitting. But it's also, this is a topic that we've talked about for a while. And I don't know that people take it seriously or think maybe that it's a gimmick. But, a couple of topics we're going to talk about are shutting your mouth while you sleep. Playing around with shutting your mouth while you work out, and then even shutting your mouth or literally chewing with your mouth closed when you eat, something that I have a hard time with. And then what does your mouth do when you watch TV? So first off, let's start. So we've got this little piece of tape in front of us. If you're driving in your car right now, picture white surgical tape.
It's 3M Micropore. You can buy it on Amazon.
Yes, and you want the 2-inch wide variety.
See, now I have 1 inch at home.
Okay,
and it goes perfectly under my mustache.
Okay,
so it doesn't. So it just sticks to my lips. You know what I'm saying?
If that's a thing, yeah.
Yep. It's a mustache thing, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I hope I don't. Hope I don't ever know. But we've talked about this, using this tape to sleep, and I think probably not going to start taping your mouth shut when you work out because you like talking to your friends, but it's a really easy tool or a really great way to improve your sleep quality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it seems weird, but it's almost an instantaneous improvement.
That first night.
Yeah, first night, if you're able to keep it on the whole night.
Correct.
Right. So sometimes, go ahead.
You're talking about the lip thing. That's what's key is like when you put it on, and this is like podcast, so you can't do this kind of stuff on a podcast. But when you put it on, you have to
you have to put it on your mouth. I try and because it can get uncomfortable. So like the first week of doing it, it was kind of like, all right, it's uncomfortable. It kind of claustrophobic a little bit, and you're like, wow, do I really need to breathe through my mouth that much?
Through your nose.
No. Do I really feel the need to breathe through my mouth that much? Sure. Because you're so used to it.
Right.
Actually thinking back at it, I remember when I was younger, it was hard for me to go. When it was hard for me to go to sleep, I would relax my jaw, and it would help me fall asleep because it felt like all right, now I'm fully relaxed, I can fall asleep. And so going to taping your mouth shut, it felt really uncomfortable the very first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel kind of claustrophobic.
Well, yeah, if it's a little uncomfortable, that's okay. A couple things about the sleeping with this is you will have a tendency, you'll feel like maybe you can't breathe at all. And so one thing I literally noticed, if I go up the stairs and I go straight into bed and I tape my mouth shut, I panic a little bit because my heart rate is slightly elevated. So I recommend being in bed for a minute or two, let your heart rate chill out, then go ahead and tape up. Make sure, if you're sleeping with somebody, tell them good night.
Yes.
And then now it's like when the tape goes on, it's like, done.
I'm done. Don't talk to me.
Well, but also I'm out.
Oh yeah. Within
a couple minutes.
Go to sleep with a quickness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Go ahead.
So we've heard from people the benefits are if you have a snorer or if you are a snorer. If you are a snorer, you owe it to the person sleeping next to you
to tape your mouth.
Because you're ruining both your lives.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So give it a shot.
I was a snorer.
You were a snorer.
I was like hardcore. Like wake up and your throat hurts snore.
Right. You wake. Yeah. If you're waking up with a dry mouth.
Yeah. I'd wake up at some. Debbie would. So I'd wake up in the middle of the night because I was snoring so loud. Debbie would pinch my nose shut.
Oh, that's my God.
I'm about to die. She'd be like, "You're snoring," and I would push you, and you wouldn't wake up. So just plug your nose.
And that's what you have to do. I mean, sleep's super important. So, we talk a lot about nutrition and cleaning up your lifestyle and getting in the gym. You're already sleeping. Yes. You don't have to do anything with this. No. Just throw the tape on. It's for the people who listen and who have done it are all like, wow. Like I'm sleeping straight through the night now.
Oh, so absolutely.
Even if you don't think you're a snorer, give it a shot. See what the results are.
Well, and plus one thing is so you have your mouth and you have your nose. So say if you have two eyes, one eye is stronger than the other. What do? You tape up the one eye,
the weak,
right? The strong eye, right. And then you make the weak eye work.
Right.
Okay. Your nose, mouth, same thing. You're getting. Let's all hypothetically say that everybody sleeps 8 to 10 hours a night. Right. You're getting 8 to 10 hours of just breathing through your nose,
which is work,
and it's forcing it. It's going to open up. So I used to always think that I had I maybe have a deviated septum. I have no idea, but it'd always be like, I can only other breathe through one nostril.
Yeah.
Right. And you can never breathe.
Yeah.
Now, even if I'm a little stuffed up, I will tape my mouth shut because it like your body's like, well, crap, I have to open up my airways a little bit and actually.
Yeah. Your nasal pathway gets lubricated with breathing.
Yes.
And if you're constantly skipping it, you'll get dry and cruddy, and it's counterintuitive because what you think when you lay down and you're stuffy that you're going to have to breathe through your mouth to survive. Well, your nose will figure it out.
Yes.
Like really, really well. So that's been a huge benefit is with the sleep. So if you take anything from this, you can stop listening right now. Just tape your mouth shut when you sleep. Commit to doing it for a couple weeks, and then you won't ever do it again. And now, to me, it's my trigger when I know I'm down regulating. Because I go crazy all day long. It's my trigger to let me relax. So now we're sleeping, but now how does this translate? How does this idea translate to training, working out?
So I've been playing around with it a lot, actually. More recently, I did it a little bit before, and during the that first open workout, I taped my mouth shut. It was kind of funny and stuff like that. I wasn't conditioned enough to do that, for that workout. I didn't have enough prep time playing with just my mouth closed. I didn't play around with enough to actually do that workout the way it could have been done. Now, I'd say right now, that's a different story. I could probably do that workout with my mouth closed, nose only the entire time. But what I've noticed, and I've been playing around with it for a couple months now, and pairing it up with the Whoop and seeing what my heart rate looks like during specific workouts, right? Now, in the beginning...
What are you finding?
I'm finding that it's a good regulator. Right. So say I want to do a long conditioning workout and I want to work on my aerobic capacity, right? It'll be specific and I will go mouth tape shut. I know I'm going to hit and after doing the VO2 max stuff, kind of know the aerobic threshold, right? It's for me, 155 to 158, 159. I know if I'm breathing through my nose and I can maintain the nasal breathing, even power in, power out, then I'm going to stay right around 155, 156. And that point was it was uncomfortable for me to hang on to that. However, I could keep on going. So I know, okay, if I'm going to go any harder to the point where I have to breathe through my mouth, I'm not going to be able to sustain that pace for very much longer. Right. But I can go 45 minutes, just, I'm holding 155. Now, as I've conditioned and I've been practicing it, now I can, with certain moves, so the bike, the skier, double unders, rowing, those monostructural movements right there. Not as much running yet. I'm not conditioned for it yet. I can go up to the 160s, 170s just breathing through my nose. Right. But that's because I've specifically conditioned my nose for those movements. Right. So now I know, okay, now I can hold 600 watts for over 2 minutes and my heart rate gets up to 160 to 170, but I'm only breathing through my nose. I can transition well and my heart rate drops with a quickness if I go to rest periods. Right.
What happens when you breathe through your mouth? So just kind of, to inform everyone.
What happens when I breathe through?
What happens? So you're talking about regulating your heart rate. So when you breathe through your nose, it brings your heart rate down. What happens when you're doing a workout and you're breathing through your mouth only?
All right, so heart rate's going to skyrocket up. I'm predominantly going to go using more. We'll say carbohydrates or glycogen for energy, which creates more byproduct, which creates the burn that you feel in your muscles. Right, that's not lactic acid. Okay, that's lactate that doesn't have enough oxygen to be used for energy, and so it mixes with hydrogen ions, and then you get the burn in your legs. That's not lactic acid. Lactate is a form of energy. When enough oxygen is present, you're actually able to use it again.
Right.
Yes. Now, I'm breathing through my mouth. There's also something called the Bohr effect. Look up the Bohr effect. It's basically telling you your body has to be conditioned for CO2 enough to be able to utilize the oxygen that's in the bloodstream. Right.
So you have to have a certain CO2 tolerance.
CO2 tolerance, yeah. So now once you start breathing through your mouth, now you're trying to suck in a bunch of air, and then your body heart rate starts jumping up higher. You immediately start using more carbohydrates for fuel, create more byproduct. You don't have enough oxygen to utilize the lactate for energy, and then your body says you have to slow down.
You're going to blow up.
Based on just energy, you're going to blow up. You have to slow down. So then you slow back down, right? You can only go so far. So I've noticed, bike workout, for example, 30 calories, nasal breathing only, rest 1 minute in between, 10 rounds of it, right? And I played around with, throughout these 10 rounds, okay, how hard can I go nasal breathing? And then I did a couple rounds where I like opened up my mouth. The times were significantly different, right? To the point where I actually went back to nasal breathing. So my times were
So you didn't blow up?
No, I did blow up with my mouth.
Correct.
Yeah. So I went nasal breathing. I could do it in between 126 and like 132. I was like, all right, let's see what happens. I was in my 6th round. I went to mouth breathing, right? Yeah. It jumped all the way up to like 147. Like I just died. My legs filled up with.
When would you recommend mouth breathing?
For me right now, I'm doing it all the time. Right.
Mouth breathing?
No, not mouth breathing.
Yeah. When would you recommend mouth breathing?
The last 30 seconds of a workout.
That's it.
Yeah. Like seriously. Played around with some things where, like in like Fight Gone Bad style, right? Going into the very last minute
of each round.
Now it's no. So like the very last minute of the 17 or whatever.
Oh, right.
Okay. Your last row. Okay. There's nothing left. I don't have to worry about recovery after this. Right. I'm gonna just. Like as hard as you possibly can, and go into that mouth breathing.
Okay.
But what it does take, though, what I say, when you tape your mouth shut to start, you feel like you take a step back.
You're going to take a step back.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
If you want to get better, you have to be willing to take the step back,
right.
In order to take the step forward. And you'll notice it helps tremendously. Yeah. It really helps tremendously.
So what we were talking before we started recording, we were talking about watching TV.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so one of my big things is, managing screen time and not watching things that get you excited. So we're trying to stay in this sympathetic or parasympathetic state, this relaxed state as much as possible. When you watch, somebody get murdered on TV, whether or not you say it doesn't affect me or whatever, it's not true. Mm-hmm. And so what's one of your cues to see if you're being bothered by watching something exciting on TV?
Is your mouth open?
Is your mouth open?
It's hilarious. So I was saying, we were watching Jurassic World a couple nights ago whenever it came out, or when you can rent it on Vudu. Mm-hmm. And I noticed during the dinosaurs attacking or whatever, my mouth, I'm open and I'm like breathing through my mouth. I'm like, and I didn't notice it. I'm like, you big dummy. Well,
your body thinks you're getting attacked.
Yeah, by dinosaurs. So your body takes so much in visually that it really causes something to happen inside your body. So pay attention. Next time you're watching TV, pay attention to what your mouth's doing. Say it's some kind of happy part.
We're not saying you have to tape your mouth shut at the movie theaters or all the time.
TV.
That's why doing it in bed is the best, because nobody's watching.
No one's watching.
Usually.
Yeah. But just pay attention to it. It's fun to kind of see man, I only keep my mouth open during intense parts. Yeah. But then otherwise
you're pretty chill.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, my big thing is while I'm eating, is are you consuming oxygen through your mouth while you're eating, which is also kind of rude. You're chomping, but can you take a bite and then breathe through your nose while you're eating, because that's going to help keep you in that relaxed state. Yeah. Versus wolfing it down.
Stuffing some in a cheek and
Yeah. So, I think this week it's a topic that, hopefully you'll get around to. It's going to cost you all of $4, maybe $5. How much are these? They're not.
I have no idea.
It's like $6 for 12 of them.
Yeah. They last. They disappear sometimes.
But it's a tool, and I think, going back to how we started, try it with the while you're sleeping. No one's there, no one's watching. As long as you throw that tape on right before you go to bed, you're going to improve the tissue. So think of the tissues in your muscles you're trying to make more efficient, more mobile. You have a whole, I forget the statistic of how many miles of tissues and nasal pathways in your sinuses that you want to clean up and make more efficient. So
give it a week. Give it some time.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, this didn't work my first day. Screw that.
It is one of those things where, if we told you to give up sugar and you gave up sugar for 2 months, you'd finally get it, a couple months later, but you'd go through so much pain. The pain threshold is so high. With this, there is really not a pain threshold, but the benefit is robust.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would agree 100%.
Yeah. It's cheap, no cost entry. Nobody will know you're doing it. You'll just look better and feel better when you wake up in the morning. And your spouse won't want to murder you because
snorer,
because you won't be snoring.
Like legit try and kill you.
Yeah, like legit try to like hold your nose closed. So if you do have a snorer, that's a great technique. And if that doesn't work, hand him a piece of tape, and then we'll talk to you guys next week.